everyone, welcome back to Wrestling Fun with Father and Son. I'm Father Matt, and this is Son.
Hi.
And this is week that's WWE. This is Smackdown, 20th of the 8th, 2019. Started off with Randy Orton coming out to do a bit of a promo about Kofi Kingston, where he basically just called him stupid over and over again. Then Kofi's music hit. Orton was distracted by this, looking at the stage, only for then Kofi to do what? Trouble in Paradise out of nowhere and attacked Orton from behind. And then he got a steel chair, put the steel chair, his ankle into the steel chair, just as it looked like he was going to go and do some damage to Orton's ankle. The Revival come out to sort of help. Obviously Kofi Kingston used the chair on the Revival to sort of get the upper hand, as it were. Next, Andrade came out for the start of the first King of the Ring first round SmackDown match. They went and the news that NXT is now moving to Wednesdays live on a mainstream network in America, 2 hours as well. This is what we thought the news was going to be on Raw, but they didn't announce it. They actually announced it last night, UK time last night. So they didn't announce it, but they did eventually, basically. And then they showed Shane McMahon and Owens. Shane said that he wanted to see Owens, only for the Owens to basically say, can you reconsider the fine, please, that you fined me last week? And that was kind of how they left it. Shane said he'd make a decision later on. Then we went back to Apollo Crews coming out, had the first round match. Selena Vega interfered in this match, helping out Andrade, and Andrade got the win, so he advances to the next round of the King of the Ring. Next we had Daniel Bryan and Rowan with a hooded guest, shall we call it. Somebody walking through the corridors into a locker room with a big black hood over their head. Basically, they said that last week they were going to reveal who was the attacker of Roman Reigns this week. Next, we had Elias walking down the corridor playing a guitar. Only for them to spot somebody with a back turned. He turned him around, took the cap off, undone his hoodie, only to reveal a referee shirt. He asked, "Where is he?" Only for the ref to point at a crate. He opened up the crate, and who came out the crate?
Drake Maverick.
It was Drake Maverick, yes. Only for then Elias to reveal that again the 24/7 belt has been suspended. The rules have been suspended again, so that he can concentrate on his King of the Ring first round match against Owens later on. Next, Moment of Bliss. Alexa Bliss and Nick Cross come out, and then basically they had Charlotte Flair, who'd asked to be on Moment of Bliss. I thought she's about the only one who has. She came out and basically said about how she was the bee's knees of the women's division, only for Alexa Bliss to say, well, actually, no, it's Bayley because she's the championship, and they basically set up a match for Clash of Champions. So we know the first match at Clash of Champions is going to be Bayley as the SmackDown Women's Champion versus Charlotte for that belt. So it looks like the belt's gone back onto Charlotte, because every single pay-per-view match she's kind of in, she doesn't really lose. A track record in pay-per-views is really good, so I can see her now winning that and being the SmackDown Women's Champion again. Next we had Murphy. We had Blake Murphy backstage with Roman Reigns. They had a little bit of altercation. That's about it. It feeded in basically into the next section, which was Daniel Bryan coming out. He was going to have a match against Blake Murphy. He did a bit of a promo before the match, obviously about Murphy and calling him a liar and stuff like that. Murphy then came out, they had a match. It was okay. I don't think it's as good as last week's Roman Reigns match, but it was still a solid match from Blake Murphy. The ending was that Rowan jumped up on the apron because Daniel Bryan got a close fall, because in the pin he got his foot onto the ropes. Rowan jumped up on the apron to point it out to the ref, only for then Daniel Bryan sort of go for Blake Murphy. Blake Murphy sidestepped it. He nearly went to Rowan. He sidestepped Rowan as Blake Murphy was doing a super kick, and he super kicked Rowan. And basically there was a couple of roll attempts from Daniel Bryan for the distraction, didn't get them, only for him to run into a running knee from Murphy, and then the Murphy's Law for the win. So Blake Murphy got the win on Daniel Bryan. Bit complicated, that ending. I always struggle to sort of describe it. But next they had Blake Murphy was going to be interviewed about that win, only for Eric Rowan and Daniel Bryan to attack him, still calling them a liar. And that was kind of how they ended that bit. Next it was the Revival. They came out, they did a promo about the New Day, and they challenged them, didn't they, to a match at Clash of Champions for the SmackDown. Was it SmackDown Raw's Tag Team Championships? Yes, it is. Yes. So we have the second match. So they are making a few matches now. Heavy Machinery then came out. I thought it was going to be something to do with the beginning of the SmackDown with Orton and Kofi and the Robot, but nothing to do with that. It basically was just a throwaway match with Heavy Machinery where the Revival got a roll-up win on the Heavy Machinery. Next we had Chad Gable. He had a bit of an interview about the King of the Ring. He goes against Shelton Benjamin, only for Shelton Benjamin to sort of open the locker door, peer out, look round, go back in, come out, put a sticker on the door. He then sort of sneaked off for then Chad Gable to finish his interview, go to walk into the locker room, and then there was a sticker on the door that said you have to be this height to be in the King of the Ring, and it was obviously above Chad Gable. So they're playing off Chad Gable's height. I'm average height. I'm 5'8". To me, I think this is a stupid storyline if they're going to go through with the height issue. We all know that Vince McMahon has a track record of liking big muscular guys, tall guys, and they're sort of thrown back to this 90s mentality, which I just don't like it. I really don't like this storyline. I know it's a bit of a laugh, but personally for me, I'm just not pushing my buttons if they're going to really go on this height issue, with Chad Gable being the underdog, him being really small like Rey Mysterio, and try and build him up to be somebody who's going to beat the bigger guys. I just don't like it. It's an old storyline. It's not modern day storyline at all, especially with equality and stuff like that. Getting very political now, Kai, with equality, and we should all be looked at as the same. It just doesn't, to me, it doesn't work. I'm probably not going to be the only one out there who feels that way, but then I'm going to have people out there who are going to disagree with me and say there's nothing wrong with it, but that is what it is, and that's fine. Next we had The Miz. The Miz come out to do Miz TV. Sami Zayn was his guest. I literally just turned off at this point because this was just a throwaway, skippable section, to be honest, of SmackDown, and really did drag SmackDown down, in my opinion. He basically said he had a deal with Shinsuke Nakamura. Shinsuke Nakamura come out. They said that Sami Zayn was now going to be the mouthpiece to Shinsuke. Shinsuke then attacked The Miz, and that was it. Easily skip that section, and it really did drag down SmackDown, in my opinion. Then we went back to Daniel Bryan in the locker room, coming back to the locker room after his match. And then we went back to Shane McMahon's office, where Owens come back in. He go, I remember why I called you. Basically, you haven't apologised for attacking the officials, but I will lift the fine. So he lifted the fine. And then we got to the King of the Ring first round match, Elias versus Kevin Owens. Nothing really mattered until towards the end, where Shane McMahon came over. He had a referee shirt on, didn't he? And he took the place of the referee. Elias then got basically a quick win because he rolled up Kevin Owens. Shane McMahon did a really quick count and took out Kevin Owens. And then we went to the back. I find these sections at the end of SmackDown with Roman Reigns are quite rushed. They kind of didn't even show the bracket for the King of the Ring. They just quickly went to Roman Reigns, and it looks like they were running out of time again. Roman Reigns backstage went into the locker room, Daniel Bryan and Rowan with the hooded figure. They pulled the hooded hood. They pulled the hood off the man sitting there, and what was revealed?
Another Eric Rowan.
Well, it was basically another Eric Rowan, a lookalike of Eric Rowan. So it's more and more to me that it is Daniel Bryan and Rowan now, because they're trying to cover it by saying, oh well, it could have been a lookalike of Rowan, not necessarily Rowan. That's basically what they were saying, and I think now it's getting more and more closer to being revealed that actually it was Daniel Bryan and Rowan now. SmackDown, we're stuck in a situation with SmackDown. I find I really love that storyline with Eric Rowan, Daniel Bryan and Roman Reigns, but they really should have done a few more attacks by now. They should have done another attack, and they should have like an attack with Daniel Bryan there or something to take the suspicion off him, or something to do this sort of. This is now getting a bit. The build up was great. Now the payoff. This is supposed to be the payoff. I don't think the payoff is good. We'll see what happens next week, but I do think that they dragged it out this week. They could have done something better. But SmackDown, I find, is suffering. Raw this week, I said Raw was a little bit. It was fun in the middle. does not take away from the fact that Raw was actually not too bad. It's definitely better than SmackDown, and it seems that Raw is flipped now, and SmackDown used to be the better show. Now it's Raw. Raw's the better show, and SmackDown is the worst show. Again, there are some funny throwaway sections. So yeah, again, I'm sort of saying it's thumb in the middle, slightly down this week for SmackDown. I'm not happy with some of the bits. I felt bored, especially with the Orton promo at the beginning and all that stuff. It should have been. They should have had that Blake and Murphy match maybe at the beginning of the show, and then built this up better over the course of the show about the reveal. They should have heightened the reveal a bit better, and maybe had an attack on Roman during the night, also to sort of heighten it a bit more. See what happens next week with Raw and SmackDown. Any news? No, I've got to say we've got this competition running for this AJ Styles figure. If you're a new subscriber to our channel, then comment in the video that I'll put at the end of this video. Just comment and we randomly select someone and we'll send it off to them, get their details, send it off to them. Well, it's only open to new subscribers, so get subscribing and get commenting on that video, which I'll leave at the end. So yeah, if you like this video, please like, comment and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video, which will probably be another unboxing. I'm releasing 2 unboxings this week. Yep, Kai, 2 unboxings. I just released the Ricochet one on Monday, and the next one is quite a good one, so you have to subscribe and check that out and hit the notification bell so you don't miss it. Yeah, we're stacking up on the unboxings, so I'm releasing a couple just to sort of get the number down, because we've got quite a few to come out. So yeah, say goodbye, and say goodbye, Kai.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.